Venus has just entered Gemini, and this moment is not ordinary. The universe is not speaking softly now. It is knocking on the mirror of your life. It's asking you to look closely at what you have been ignoring, who has been confusing you, what you have been waiting for, and why your heart feels like it is standing in two places at once. Do not ignore this. Venus in Gemini is not here to make everything quiet. It is here to reveal the message behind the silence, the truth behind the mixed signals, and the choice you can no longer delay. This is the moment when the mirror becomes a doorway. And once you see what is being reflected back to you, you cannot pretend you did not see it. Venus, the planet of love, attraction, beauty, money, desire, pleasure, and self-worth, has stepped into Gemini, the sign of words, messages, choices, thoughts, conversations, curiosity, and duality. That means love begins to speak differently. Money begins to move differently. Your nervous system begins to pick up signals faster than usual. People may say things they were holding back. You may suddenly understand something that confused you for weeks. A message may arrive. A silence may become louder. A person's actions may finally tell you what their words could not. And for 3 signs, this energy hits hard. Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces. But even if you are not one of these signs, stay with this message, because Venus in Gemini does not only touch romance. It touches the way you receive, the way you choose, the way you speak, the way you trust, and the way you finally admit what your soul already knows. The universe is asking one question now. Are you choosing from fear, or are you choosing from truth? Because that is the mirror. That is the doorway. And this weekend, the reflection becomes impossible to avoid. You may have felt this energy building before it had a name. Maybe your mind has been louder than usual. Maybe your heart has been restless, reaching for answers that never seem to arrive fully. Maybe you have been replaying conversations, reading between lines, checking the emotional temperature of people who keep changing their tone. One day they feel close, the next day they feel distant. One moment you feel certain, the next moment you wonder if you imagined everything. That is Venus, leaving the heaviness of Taurus and stepping into the quicksilver air of Gemini. The ground that once felt solid begins to split into possibilities. What felt fixed becomes flexible. What felt certain becomes a question. What felt buried begins to speak, and this can be beautiful. But it can also be dangerous if you are not awake, because Gemini energy can bring truth through words. But it can also expose where words have been used as smoke. It can bring connection, but it can also reveal distraction. It can bring flirtation, movement, opportunity, and surprise. But it can also show you who only knows how to talk, not how to show up. That is why this transit is not just romantic. It is spiritual. The universe is not asking you to believe every message. It is asking you to listen beneath the message. It is not asking you to chase every spark. It is asking you to notice which spark warms you and which spark burns your peace. It is not asking you to make a rushed decision. It is asking you to stop pretending you do not already know what decision is forming inside you. This is where everything changes, because Venus in Gemini opens the mirror doorway between what you desire and what you actually deserve. Of you have been stuck in that doorway for a long time. You have wanted love, but you have accepted confusion. You have wanted abundance, but you have tolerated scarcity thinking. You have wanted peace, but you have kept answering the emotional noise of people who bring your nervous system into chaos. Now, the universe is holding up the mirror. Look closely. Who makes you feel safe after the conversation ends? Who only gives you attention when they sense you pulling away? Who speaks beautifully but leaves you emotionally hungry? Who supports your future and who keeps you addicted to uncertainty? This is not a small question. This is a soul-level question. Because Venus in Gemini does not only ask, who do you love? It asks, what kind of energy are you exchanging with the people you let close to you? And for some of you, this is going to feel like a sudden awakening. You may wake up between April 25th and 26th with a strange clarity you did not have. Before, you may suddenly feel detached from something that used to consume you. You may receive a message that changes the emotional weather. You may hear from someone unexpectedly. You may see a name, a sign, a memory, or a repeating number. That makes your chest tighten because it feels too specific to be random. But understand this clearly. Not every return is a blessing. Some returns are tests. Sometimes the universe allows an old energy to step back into the doorway just to see whether you will abandon yourself again. Sometimes, the message arrives not because you are meant to open the door, but because you are meant to see how far you have come since the last time you stood there. And that is the warning inside this activation. Do not confuse emotional intensity with destiny. Do not confuse chemistry with commitment. Do not confuse someone's curiosity with their capacity. During this transit, people may become more expressive, more playful, more talkative, more interested, and more willing to reach out. But the deeper question is not, did they message you? The deeper question is, what happens after they message you? Maturity, 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 and consistency. Or do they open a conversation only to leave you standing? In the same old fog, Venus and Gemini can bring a beautiful conversation. But a beautiful conversation is not always a beautiful future. You must understand what is happening now. The mirror is showing you the difference between the voice that wants you and the energy that honors you. That difference is everything. Many of you have been in a season of emotional waiting, waiting for someone to explain themselves, waiting for money to stabilize, waiting for the right idea to click, waiting for your confidence to return, waiting for your heart to stop asking questions no one else seems willing to answer. You may have felt like life was speaking in fragments. A little hope here, a little disappointment there. Sign, then silence. A door cracked open, then suddenly closed. And during this waiting, something inside you got tired. Not weak, tired. There is a difference. Your soul has not been giving up. It has been conserving energy. Your spirit has been quietly pulling power back from people, plans, and timelines that were draining you. You may have noticed that things you used to chase no longer excite you the same way. You may have noticed that certain conversations feel empty now. You may have noticed that your body reacts before your mind has time to explain why. That is because your body has been reading the mirror before your mind was ready. Your chest knows when someone is not being fully honest. Your stomach knows when an opportunity is dressed beautifully. It lacks real stability. Your throat knows when you are swallowing words to keep peace with people who benefit from your silence. Your eyes know when the version of someone you loved is not the version standing in front of you now, and this weekend. Those signals become louder. You may feel throat tension. Because Gemini rules communication, an unspoken truth may rise like pressure behind the voice. You may feel restless, like you need to move, walk, write, clean, send a message, or finally, say what has been sitting inside you. You may feel your sleep become lighter, your dreams more symbolic, your mind more active, your emotions more changeable. 1 hour you may feel clear, the next you may feel overwhelmed. Does not mean you are losing alignment. It means energy is moving through the mirror. The old reflection is breaking. A new doorway is forming. And when a doorway forms, the body always feels it before the life changes. You may feel a strange heaviness in the chest, not because something bad is coming, but because something true is rising. Truth has weight before it brings freedom. You may feel tears come unexpectedly, not dramatic tears, but quiet ones. The kind that appear when your soul realizes it has been holding too much. You may feel tired of explaining yourself to people who only understand when they want access to your energy. You may feel deeply calm after making one small decision that your heart has been postponing for months. That calm is a sign. Not every spiritual breakthrough looks like excitement. Sometimes it feels like your nervous system finally stopping the fight. Sometimes it feels like not replying. Sometimes it feels like choosing rest instead of performance. Sometimes it feels like admitting, I want more than this. And that sentence may be the key to the doorway, because Venus is not only about love, Venus is also about value. What you value, how you value yourself, what you allow yourself to receive, what you believe you must earn before you are allowed to be chosen, paid, supported, respected, or loved. When Venus enters Gemini, the money energy becomes mental. Ideas matter, conversations matter, negotiations matter, offers, messages, contracts, collaborations, sales, content, speaking, writing, teaching, marketing, networking, and communication-based income may become more active. For some of you, this is a financial activation. A new idea may arrive quickly. A person may mention an opportunity. A business thought you dismissed before may suddenly come back with sharper timing. You may realize that your voice, your knowledge, your content, your skill, or your ability to connect people has more value than you allowed yourself to believe. But here is the warning. Do not scatter your money, because your mind is excited. Venus in Gemini can make everything look interesting, A new tool, a new course, a new product, a new investment, new plan, a new promise, a new person with a convincing pitch. The energy can feel fast and shiny, like every doorway is opening at once. But not every open doorway leads to abundance. Some lead to distraction. This is a powerful time to review your spending patterns, especially emotional spending. Are you buying because you need it or because you feel unsettled? Are you saying yes to an opportunity because it aligns or because you are afraid of missing out? Are you giving money, time, or labor to someone who keeps promising future rewards but never creates present stability? Venus in Gemini says money follows clarity. Not panic, not pressure, not performance, clarity. If you run a business, create content, work online, sell services, manage clients, write, design, teach, speak, or build anything through communication, this transit can open a surprising window. The right words can attract the right people. A small adjustment in how you present your offer may change the response you receive. A conversation may become a lead. A comment may become a collaboration. A simple message may become a new financial path. But the mirror asks you to be honest. Are you underpricing yourself because you want to be liked? You're delaying your next move because you're afraid people will judge you? Are you copying someone else's voice instead of trusting your own? Are you working harder while receiving less because part of you still believes struggle is proof of worth? This is where Venus becomes serious. Because abundance is not only about money arriving, it is about your ability to receive without shrinking. Apologize less for your gifts, and stop making your value dependent on someone else's approval. Between April 25th and 26th, notice what happens around money conversations. Notice if someone tries to rush you. Notice if an offer sounds exciting, but unclear. Notice if your intuition tightens when numbers are vague. Notice if you suddenly feel called to reorganize your finances, update your pricing, set a boundary with a client, or finally turn an idea into something visible. The doorway is not only romantic, it is financial, and the mirror is asking, do you trust your own value enough to choose differently? Now, listen closely, because your body is also part of this message. This transit can overstimulate the nervous system. Gemini energy moves quickly, thoughts multiply, notifications feel louder, conversations may stack on top of each other. Your mind may jump from one possibility to another. You may feel like you need answers immediately, but your body will need softness, hydration, silence, and grounding more than your mind wants to admit. Do not treat rest as a delay. Rest is how the message becomes clear. During this window, your sleep may be strange. You may wake up suddenly. You may dream of old friends, old lovers, schools, roads, phones, doors, twins, mirrors, letters, or rooms you cannot quite recognize. These symbols matter because Gemini energy often speaks through mental images, patterns, repeated phrases, and small signs that connect later. Keep a note nearby if you can. Not every dream needs an interpretation immediately. Sometimes the meaning opens days later, like a letter you were not ready to read. Your throat, shoulders, hands, lungs, and nervous system may feel more sensitive. You may want to talk, but also feel afraid to say too much. You may crave connection, but also need space. You may feel pulled toward your phone, then drained by it. You may feel your energy rise when someone reaches out, and crash when the conversation becomes unclear. That is not weakness. That is your body showing you which connections regulate you, and which ones disturb your field. Protect your energy like it is currency, because it is. Drink more water. Breathe before replying. Step away from screens when your mind begins creating stories. Do not make major emotional decisions at the peak of nervous system activation. Let the first wave pass. Let the body settle. Let the mirror clear before you walk through the doorway. This is especially important in relationships, because this is the area where Venus and Gemini can feel the most intense, the most seductive, and the most revealing. Relationships now become conversations with destiny, not always dramatic conversations. Sometimes a casual sentence reveals everything. Sometimes the way someone avoids a question tells you more than a confession would. Sometimes a person's delay in responding shows you their emotional availability more clearly than their promises ever did. Sometimes you realize that you have been calling something complicated when it was actually inconsistent, and that realization can hurt, but it can also set you free. This transit brings truth through communication, but not always in the way you expect. Some truths come through direct words. Someone may admit feelings, Someone may apologize. Someone may ask to see you. Someone may finally say what they have been dancing around. But other truths come through contrast. Someone may continue avoiding clarity. Someone may give a charming answer that still has no substance. Someone may return with the same energy you already outgrew. Someone may reveal that they love attention more than accountability. Watch actions over words. That is the command. A person can text you at midnight and still not be ready to meet you in daylight. A person can say they miss you and still not have the maturity to repair what they damaged. A person can be attracted to your light and still be unprepared to honor your heart. Venus, in Gemini, can make connection feel exciting, but excitement is not the same as safety. Curiosity is not the same as devotion. Conversation is not the same as commitment. This is where many people lose themselves, because they mistake movement for progress. But this weekend, the universe is teaching you to listen deeper. Ask yourself, does this communication bring me peace, or does it pull me back into proving? Ask yourself, do I feel more like myself after speaking with this person, or do I feel smaller, anxious, and unsure? Ask yourself, is this relationship opening a doorway to growth, or is it holding up a mirror of an old wound? This is not about becoming cold. This is about becoming clear. Love should not require you to abandon your intuition. Love should not make you beg for basic consistency. Love should not keep you addicted to almost, maybe soon, someday. There is a difference between a relationship that challenges you to grow and a relationship that constantly destabilizes you. One expands your soul. The other exhausts your nervous system. And this transit will show you the difference. For some of you, conversation between April 25th and 26th may become a turning point. Not necessarily because everything gets resolved instantly, but because you finally hear what you needed to hear, or you finally hear what is missing. That matters too. Absence is information. Silence is information. Deflection is information. Effort is information. Tone is information. Consistency is information. The universe is not hiding the truth from you. It is teaching you how to read it. And once you can read it, you no longer have to chase it. This is where the mirror becomes a doorway again. Because the reflection is not meant to trap you in analysis. It is meant to move you into choice. So what should you actually do during this energy? Slow down before you respond. Not because you are playing games, but because your peace deserves a moment of protection. Body reacts. Breathe first. Ask yourself what part of you is replying. Is it your healed self or your wounded self? Is it your clarity or your fear of losing access? Is it your truth or your old habit of over-explaining? Have one honest conversation. If your spirit keeps guiding you, toward it. Not 10 conversations, not endless emotional negotiations, one clean, honest, direct exchange. Say what you mean without dressing it in guilt. Ask what you need to ask without begging for reassurance. Then observe. The response will show you more than the topic itself. Journal the words you are afraid to say. Gemini energy needs movement through language. Write the unsent message. Write the truth without editing it. Write what you would choose if you were not afraid of disappointing anyone. Write what you already know. The page can become a mirror that does not interrupt you. Protect your money. Do not spend from restlessness. Do not commit financially because someone creates urgency. Give yourself 24 hours before saying yes to anything that affects your resources. Abundance loves movement, but wisdom protects timing. Rest more than you think you need to. This is not lazy. This is integration. When energy moves quickly, the body needs space to process what the spirit has already understood. And most importantly, do not chase love, not chase answers. Do not chase people who become powerful only when you feel uncertain. Let the truth come forward. Let actions rise to the surface. Let the mirror show what is real. What is meant for your next chapter will not require you to betray your self-respect to hold it now. We need to speak directly to the 3 signs being hit the hardest: Gemini, Sagittarius, and Pisces. And if you have these signs in your sun, moon, rising, or Venus, listen closely, because this part may feel uncomfortably personal. Gemini, Venus has entered your sign, and this is not just charm. This is not just attention. This is a spiritual spotlight. The universe is placing you in front of the mirror and asking you to see yourself without the old distortion. For a long time, you may have been moving between versions of yourself. The version who smiles, the version who overthinks, the version who keeps things light because going deep feels dangerous, The version who wants love but fears being trapped. The version who wants freedom, but also wants someone to choose you with certainty. Now Venus is softening your energy, but she's also making you magnetic. People may notice you more. Messages may increase. Invitations may appear. Your appearance, voice, creativity, humor, and presence may carry more power than usual. But the deeper activation is not about being desired. It is about whether you can receive desire without losing yourself inside it. Gemini, this is your mirror doorway moment. You are being asked to stop performing adaptability for people who never meet you halfway. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to want more. You are allowed to admit that some connections no longer stimulate your soul, even if they once gave you excitement. You are allowed to outgrow the version of love that only lives in words. Someone may be drawn toward you now because your light is louder, but ask yourself, do they see you, or do they only enjoy your energy? Do they want your truth, or just your entertainment? Do they honor your complexity, or do they expect you to stay easy, funny, flexible, and available? This transit gives you power, but it also gives you responsibility. Your words carry manifestation force now. What you say about yourself matters. What you accept matters. What you flirt with matters. What you entertain matters. If you keep entertaining, confusion will keep feeling invited. If you speak your worth clearly, life will begin rearranging around that truth in money. Gemini, this can bring a breakthrough through communication. A message, client, pitch, content idea, negotiation, or creative offer may open something. Your mind is fast now, but do not scatter your energy across too many plans. Choose the idea that feels alive and practical. Choose the path that lets your voice become valued. In love, choose the person who can meet your mind and respect your nervous system. You do not need someone who only keeps up with your wit. You need someone who can sit with your truth. The universe is not asking you to become less free. It is asking you to stop calling emotional inconsistency freedom. Sagittarius. Venus in Gemini activates your mirror through other people. Relationships, partnerships, attraction, commitment, conflict, desire, and emotional reflection are all being lit up. This means the universe may speak through someone else's behavior. A partner, ex, crush, friend, client, collaborator, or rival may show you something important about yourself. It may happen quickly. For you, this transit is not just about who is coming toward you, it is about what they reveal. Sagittarius, you are known for truth, movement, belief, distance, freedom, and big vision. But sometimes, when emotions become complicated, you escape into philosophy. You understand the lesson before you feel the wound. You explain the pattern before you admit that something hurt. You keep moving because stopping would require you to face the mirror, but this weekend, the mirror moves with you. A conversation may bring a truth you cannot outrun. Someone may ask for clarity, someone may offer it. Someone may suddenly become interested, or suddenly reveal their immaturity. You may realize that a relationship has been built on potential rather than presence. You may see that you have been giving someone the benefit of the doubt while quietly lowering your standards to keep the connection alive. This is not the time to romanticize inconsistency. It is time to ask whether the people beside you can walk through the next doorway with you. Because Sagittarius, your life is changing. Your future is calling you into a more honest form of partnership. Not partnership that cages you, not partnership that drains your fire, but partnership that sharpens your truth, supports your expansion, and respects your need for meaning. If someone only loves you when you are inspiring, entertaining, forgiving, or far away, that is not full love. If someone cannot handle your honesty, they may not be ready for your next chapter. If someone keeps pulling you into mental games, mixed signals, or emotional half-presence, Venus in Gemini will make that pattern impossible to ignore. In money, this energy may come through contracts, clients, negotiations, shared resources, or partnership-based income. Be careful with verbal agreements. Get clarity. Ask questions. Do not assume enthusiasm equals commitment. If a financial opportunity involves another person, make sure the terms are clear. Your optimism is a gift, but under this transit, discernment is your protection. In love, Sagittarius, the message is sharp and sacred. Stop chasing the reflection of what someone could become. Look at who they are now. The universe is not asking you to close your heart. It is asking you to stop leaving the doorway open for people who only visit when your light makes them feel less lost. Pisces. This transit reaches you in a deeply private place. While Gemini and Sagittarius may feel this energy through identity and relationships, you may feel it through the inner rooms of your heart. Home, family, memory, emotional safety, your past, your nervous system. The places where you learned what love was supposed to feel like may all become activated. For you, the mirror is not outside first, it is inside. You may feel more sensitive than usual. Old memories may arise. You may think about someone you tried to release. You may feel the emotional echo of childhood patterns, family dynamics, old disappointments, or places where you had to become gentle for people who were not gentle with you. Venus and Gemini may bring conversations at home, messages from family, emotional realizations about where you belong, or a sudden need to change your environment. Pisces, you have carried too much silently. You often feel what others refuse to say. You sense the room. You absorb tones, shifts, moods, and hidden pain. But this transit is asking you to stop confusing empathy with obligation. You can understand someone and still set a boundary. You can love someone and still stop rescuing them. You can forgive the past and still refuse to recreate it. This is a karmic shift in your emotional foundation. The universe is asking, where do you feel safe enough to be fully yourself? Not useful, not healing everyone, not endlessly patient, not spiritually available to people who drain you. Fully yourself. That question matters now. You may feel pulled to clean your space. Change your room, move furniture, light a candle, open windows, throw away old reminders, or make your home feel more like the person you are becoming. Do it. Your environment is part of your energetic body. When your space changes, your field changes. In relationships, Pisces. Watch for people who speak sweetly but leave you emotionally uncertain. Watch for apologies that ask for comfort but offer no change. Watch for conversations that pull you back into the role of healer, listener, savior, or emotional shelter. You are not here to be someone's soft place while they remain careless with your heart. In money, transit may ask you to look at emotional spending, family-related expenses, home decisions, or the way your sense of security affects your financial choices. Do not make money decisions from guilt. Do not say yes because someone makes you feel responsible for their instability. Your abundance grows when your boundaries become clearer. Pisces, the doorway opening for you is peace, not fantasy, not longing. Not the version of love you have to imagine harder than you experience. Peace. And the mirror is showing you exactly what must leave your inner world so peace can finally stay. For all signs, this Venus and Gemini moment is a sacred interruption. It interrupts the old story. It interrupts the emotional waiting room. It interrupts the belief that confusion is normal. It interrupts the habit of shrinking your truth so someone else can remain comfortable. And over these 2 days, the universe may not give you every answer, but it will give you a signal, a message, a realization, a choice, a reflection, a doorway. Pay attention to what repeats. Repeated words, repeated names, repeated thoughts, repeated dreams, repeated emotional reactions. Gemini energy often speaks twice. It shows you something once through the mind and once through the body. If your mind says, maybe it is nothing, but your body says, this matters, listen deeper. Do not rush to label everything as good or bad. Some blessings first appear as discomfort because they require you to stop lying to yourself. Some endings first appear as silence because the universe knows you would keep negotiating if the door stayed half open. Some new beginnings first appear as a simple conversation, a tiny idea, a strange pull. A sentence someone says without realizing it unlocks something in you. This is why you must remain awake, not anxious. Awake, there is a difference. Anxiety tries to control the future. Awareness listens to the present. Anxiety checks for danger in every shadow. Awareness notices which shadows keep repeating. Anxiety makes you chase. Awareness lets you choose. Venus and Gemini wants you to choose. Not from panic, not from loneliness, not from the fear that nothing better will come. Choose from the version of you that has finally learned the cost of ignoring your own reflection. Because when the mirror becomes a doorway, the old self cannot walk through with all its old excuses. You cannot bring the habit of overgiving and expect a balanced love. You cannot bring scarcity thinking and expect abundant receiving. You cannot bring unclear communication and expect clean outcomes. You cannot bring self-betrayal and expect spiritual peace. This is not punishment. This is alignment. The universe is not taking from you. It is separating what is real from what is only familiar. And that separation may feel strange at first. You may feel a gap between who you used to be and who you are becoming. You may feel tempted to return to the old pattern just because it has a recognizable shape. But do not mistake familiarity for safety. Some cages feel familiar too. Some wounds have routines. Some people know exactly how to pull the old version of you back into the room. Do not go back into the room if the doorway has already opened. Stand in the threshold. Breathe. Look at the mirror. Tell the truth. This is the urgent message for April 25th and 26th. The universe is rearranging the language of your heart. What once confused you is becoming information. What once tempted you is becoming a test. What once felt delayed is beginning to move. What once felt like rejection may soon reveal itself as protection. What once felt like a closed door may have only been a mirror waiting for you to recognize your own worth before it opened. You are not behind. You are being refined. You are not forgotten. You are being redirected. You are not too sensitive. You are finally hearing the truth beneath the noise. So during this transit, speak carefully, listen deeply, spend wisely, rest fully, love honestly. Do not chase the unclear. Do not ignore the body. Do not give your energy to every voice that calls your name. Let people reveal themselves. Let opportunities prove their structure. Let your intuition have the final word, and when the message comes, whether through a person, a dream, a conversation, a sudden silence, or a feeling in your chest, do not dismiss it. The mirror is not here to scare you. It is here to wake you. The doorway is not here to trap you. It is here to move you. And once you step through, something in your life will no longer be able to continue the way it did before. That is the blessing. That is the warning. That is the activation. Venus, in Gemini, has opened the mirrored way, and the universe is asking you to choose with your eyes open now. Choose the truth that brings peace. Choose the love that has actions. Choose the money path that honors your worth. Choose the conversation that frees your throat. Choose the future that does not require you to keep betraying your own knowing. Because April 25th and 26th are not just dates on a calendar. They are a message, and this time, the message is urgent. Look into the mirror, walk through the doorway, and do not return to the version of your life that only made sense when you were ignoring yourself.